What's up, everybody? I gotta get my pen. Welcome to Bigfoot and Coffee. I am your host today, Charles Mills. Super happy to be here with you. Kim Wilson, Soundwave, Dillo. I see all you guys. Let's get the show on the road. Welcome back, guys. What's going on? Charles Mills here, Bigfoot and Coffee. Guys, I am super stoked that you're all here today. Floyd Randall, what is going down? I see you. Oh, Les, what's up, man? What's going on? So, what is happening? Not much really new happening in the Bigfoot community that has come across my desk. If you guys have heard something, send me some links so we can get it checked out, and see what's going on. It's a beautiful morning here in Northeast Ohio. Yesterday was opening day for deer. Got my David Leonard game cap on. Guys, if you haven't had a chance to check out David Leonard's Facebook page, he makes some of the world's finest game calls. Um, and when I tell you he makes some of the world's finest game calls, I mean the intricate details that he puts in to all of his game calls are truly amazing. Um, get over there, check him out on Facebook, David Leonard. I'm not sponsored by David Leonard or anything, so you know, I just happen to like the guy's game calls. How's Nova? Yeah, I want to know that too. Let's get a Nova update and a Ryan update if we can, if Tina gets on. It's been a pretty hectic week here. Been really trying to concentrate on getting some bills paid around here and stuff. That is why we have no hunts. I have, viciously been looking for some work so I can get some bills paid around here. Bills don't pay themselves. So we'll get back on the hunt, when I get caught up on some bills and stuff like that. Hey, there you go, some Duncan money. Look at Floyd Randall, donated $2. Floyd, thank you so much. Big ODU hug to you, Floyd. Really greatly appreciated, Floyd. You know that. We love you. Um, so trying to get some work done. I'm trying to get siding on this house. Uh, it's just been it's been a heck of a week. Um, Still got something going on with my truck. Trying to get that done. Trying to get everything winterized, the boats, everything else. Winter's coming. It will be here sooner or later. They're talking about a pretty bad winter this year, but they said that last year and the year before, and it never happened. Uh, so it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It it is what it is. So not much really going on. There was no hunts this week. Um, really busy chasing work, man. Chasing work, trying to get my house cleaned, under control. Um, Trying to get the yard maintenance done before winter. Trying to get everything packed up, and get it where it's supposed to be. Sounds like me, Charles. I still have to finish painting the house. There you go. I mean, I still got to put a bunch of siding on. Gordo, what up? ripping some lips on the Blackwater River. All right, keep it up, keep it up. I went crappie fishing the other day. Filmed a segment um, on dropping water level reservoirs for full time crappie. We got that done. I did another video, an herb video. I've been messing with some herbs lately, um, and not that kind of herb. You know, I've been messing with goldenrod and red sumac, and I've been making tea, and I've been having a cup a day, and it's really helped with the inflammation in my wrists, the inflammation in my knees and ankles. Uh, I've I've actually noticed a difference, um, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna add something to this regimen. Hold on, real quick. I'll get it. Now, a lot of you will already know what this is. Okay, this right here. How many of you know what this is? Drop a comment if you know what it is. Okay, this is supposed to have a lot of heart benefits. They're actually researching it right now for reversal of heart disease, and a lot, uh, liver function, a lot of um, medical benefits. So I'm going to start adding this to my teas. Uh, so I'll be doing goldenrod. I'll be doing uh, sumac, and this, if you know what it is, I'll tell you what it is. But let me show it to you real close here. It's a little baby shelf fungus. They don't get very big. This is a medium-sized one. They get a little bit bigger than this. But I know my medicine plants in my area. I usually write it down, so don't forget that. So, yeah, because well, you know, I got to thinking, you know, there's a lot of plants with medicinal value. Okay, and animals know this. Like dogs will eat grass if they have an upset stomach. Um, goldenrod, deer don't eat goldenrod, but if you see them eating goldenrod, it means they have an upset stomach. They know these plants, which means Sasquatch would probably know these plants too. I'm sure it gets an upset stomach. It's a shelf mushroom. That is correct. Yeah, yes, this is a shelf mushroom. There's another picture of it. This is an amazing, amazing, amazing fungus right here, guys. They are doing some serious research on this fungus right now. But I got to thinking, Sasquatch probably knows, a lot of this. Good morning. While hunting, I noticed the woods are full of acorns here. Yep, they're full of acorns here too. They're dropping here too, buddy. You know, I went out yesterday morning. Yesterday, uh, had a chance, had a doe, moved in my tree stand, and my tree stand's old. Boom, doe heard it. She took off running. That was in the morning. Um, evening hunt. I I seen some does, because I'm trying to get some, meat in the freezer. Um, so I seen them about 200 yards, in a bean field. So I crawled up on them about 70 yards is the closest I could get. Um, made the shot, uh, hit her. Um, it was dark. We couldn't find her. So we're going back this morning to look. We tracked her And then we lost the blood in some thick stuff. So, and our lights were dying. So we're going back this morning to see if we can find management doe on a piece of property that I nuisance hunt for. It's got too many does on it. So there's the update on that. But anyways, this fungus is called turkey tail. Okay, look it up. Um, you know, and it got me thinking. That Sasquatch probably uses some of these medicinal medicine, or I'm sure they get toothaches. I'm sure they get upset stomachs. You know, do they get flu-like symptoms? You know, do they get hay fever? We don't know. We have we know very little about Sasquatch. Everybody's really, really, focused on let's get pictures and everything else. Look, I don't need it. I already know this creature exists. Okay, I already know that this is a real species, so I don't have to worry about any of that. Now, the next step, to getting all the ducks in a row would obviously be a specimen to study. You know, how we're going to study a live specimen, I don't know. It's it's a lot um, to really comprehend. But from medical standpoint, we can assume, being that the mitochondria is ancient, human DNA, um, we can assume that this species has some human like traits. Like, I'm sure it gets sick. I'm sure it gets an upset stomach. I'm sure it gets toothaches. What about headaches? All that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Pokeberries are natural for pain, yes, but you got to take the seeds out. Yes, pokeberries. See, most people believe the pokeberry is. I have one right in my backyard. Um, Poisonous. The seeds are poisonous. You know what I'm saying? Spit them out. You know, eat a couple pokeberries, spit the seed out. Just like you would when sunflowers. You spit the shell out. But yeah, but this right here, um, guys, they're doing some really, really, really big work on this, and some amazing stuff. And I mean, there's some pretty big name scientists, that are really looking in to turkey tail right now. And it was hard to find last week before we got the rain, because a lot of it was dried out and stuff because of the rain. Then the rain came and I found some, you know. I mean, I went out, all day and, filmed a segment on the tea that I'm getting ready to do. Okay. The turkey tail, the goldenrod, and the sumac. Um, they're a pretty amazing little elixir. Um, just what I have been playing with for the last 2 weeks. I have noticed, inflammation gone down. Um, I have noticed that I'm not sneezing as much, especially when I cut the grass and stuff like that. I'm noticing um, better uh, bowel movements. I mean, I'm noticing a lot of things, uh, and I think it's amazing that we have a lot of people soak poke berries in vodka. It's called a tincture. Yeah, a lot of people make tinctures. Yeah, yep. Tinctures are amazing. They truly are amazing. Um, with real high proof vodka or moonshine, to extract the exact chemical properties that they're looking for. Yeah, tinctures are good. So, and Tech, where you been, man? But then again, you could ask me that. Where have I been? So, but hey, it is what it is. I am drinking uh, Beanmont from Aldi's coffee this morning. Um, I know it ain't black silk. It is what it is. I don't have a choice, but um, it's decent coffee. Uh, Black, of course, because I don't drink anything in my coffee. Drop a comment down below. Let Outdoor University and me know what you are drinking this morning. We can already bet that Floyd Randall is drinking Duncan. You know, we can bet the world, turns on that, Um, he's been around, Charles, just cloaked. Yeah, he's been playing with painless too much, you know. Sucks. I used to have pokeberries growing in my backyard. Didn't know they use and oh, listen, man, that was my next thing. I've done a little bit of research on pokeberries. I'm not a pokeberry expert, so in no way, shape, or form um, should anyone consume any wild plant, mushroom, or anything else unless you have done your due diligence research. Okay? Public disclaimer. Bloop. There you go. So, you know, I don't want people out there eating mushrooms and going, well, Charles said about that. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Andy, good morning. What up, my friend? So, you know, but it really got me, it really got me thinking, about some of these wild herbs and the medicinal properties of some of these things, okay? And how animals and different animal species utilize this, okay? And how the big pharmaceutical companies, try to suppress this information because, they want you to take their medicine. They want you to be addicted to their medicine, so you keep buying it. And I really think that's a health epidemic in this country. I mean, there's a guy, there's a guy on YouTube that does videos on pokeberries, grows them just for that purpose. Yes, I got pokeberries. I got a plant out here. I know of three other spots over at West Branch. My trophy hunting spot has pokeberries. You know, my trophy my trophy hunting spot has a lot of stuff. Not only poke, I mean, dude, it's got almost everything you could possibly find. Mullein, everything. You know, there's another amazing plant. If you guys don't know about that, that is, he's got jewelweed there. If you guys don't know about jewelweed, there's another amazing plant. There's a lot of amazing plants and funguses that science is really starting to look at now. You know, they've always been deterred by these pharmaceutical companies. Don't hear. We'll give you some money not to research it. You know what I'm saying? So, and now, that America has woken up, um, you know, things are changing. You know, things are changing for the better. I would have to say things are changing, more towards old school, which I'm an old school, I'm a Gen Xer. You guys know that. I was born in 1973 on April 8th. So, I mean, I love the old ways, and how the old people think and, how the old ways are. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, I believe that if you say something stupid to somebody and put your hands on them, you should be able to punch them out. I believe that, you know? A lot of people don't believe that, these Democrats don't believe that, but hey, guess what? That's because you've never been punched out for slapping somebody. Maybe next time you slap somebody and they punch you out, you'll be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't, put my hands on people, you know? But that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not getting into politics. But medicinal values of some of these plants has got me interested in really on how Sasquatch utilize them and if they utilize them. I'm I'm sure that they have knowledge of this. See, the Indians had knowledge of this, of certain plants will do certain things. So, and there's not all tribes, but some tribes actually, had interactions good interactions, with this species. You know, uh, what is it? I think it's was it the Sioux? I can't remember who it was. I think it was the Sioux Indians that actually traded things with the Sasquatch. You know, um, different herbs, and they would give them corn and stuff like that, and whatever. And um, there's actually some ancient tales. Doing okay, can't complain. That's what Andy says. That's good, Andy. I'm glad you're doing well. You know, I'm glad you're doing well. That's pretty much what we're looking for is in life is to do good or do better. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom. Got to get that off there. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I just had to make a little thing. It's bugging me. So I just want to really start, focusing on diet because I think focusing on diet is going to put us a little bit closer. Okay. I don't believe that they just go around eating anything they can. I believe there's seasons for certain things. You know, what happened to the live cameras? I haven't got out yet and got them. As a matter of fact, I haven't even. I got to get with Godzilla, and we got to get the cloud um, storage paid. You know, and now we have two more we got to get paid. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for those of you that don't know, Les Snow donated two more, so now we have four live cameras. So I can put two at Old Man Whistler's and two at the Geo site. Well, we got to get it paid for the other two. And I got to get with Godzilla, okay? Because Godzilla's figured out the app and figured out permission situation and everything else. I can't just give you the login and password. I can't. Because you can change the cameras, you can do all kinds of stuff in there to harm Outdoor University. And I will not allow that, okay? I'm not saying that anyone out there will, but I'm saying that there's an opportunity. But Godzilla's figured out a way to limit everybody's abilities. Um, you won't be able to change any settings or anything like that. You'll still be able to watch the camera. You'll still be able to record what you see or take photos of what you see. But that's it. Um, you're not going to be able to, change permissions. You're not going to be able to lock anybody in and out. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, because I see a comment from Jody. Good morning, Jody Ferguson. What's going on, man? Morning, brother. I think it was the time when early natives before arrival of guns. It was when Bigfoot and the natives. That's correct. That is correct. This is before that. You have to seem to understand the impact of gunpowder. And yes, it does relate to Sasquatch. You know, they there was no gunpowder, you know. And you got to remember, white man came over here with gunpowder and guns and just devastated, took over land, just you know, just pretty much shot people. And don't think, that these Sasquatch didn't, recognize that and go, well, that's a gun holding it, And, you know, over the years, how do you know about poison ivy? You know why? Because your parents got poison ivy and they told you don't touch that. How did your parents know about poison ivy? Because their parents told them, and their parents told them, and their parents told them. It's a thing passed down. You know what I'm saying? Gunpowder had a major impact on this country. It also had a major impact on um, Sasquatch and seeing what we do, as people. How we just came in and just destroyed and took over. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to field dress deer and leave entrails for Bigfoot? I'll probably bring the entrails um, for a coyote hunt. Um, I have a lot of tags this year. I'm doing some management hunts. Um, I got some tags, and quite a few places. Um, so and there's a lot of filming going on, behind the scenes, of chasing a certain whitetail that I've been chasing. Um, I'm not even going to jinx myself, not telling anybody about this deer. It's a personal deer that I've been chasing. You guys know I chased the king for 3 years, and finally got that deer, when he was 8 years old. And, one more year, he would have been declining. He was at his peak. His rack was at his peak and everything else. So, really don't have original native tribes left. No, we don't. No, we don't. There we go. Hey, Dave P donated $5. Big ODU up to you, Dave. Thank you so very much. Oh, what's this? Hold on. What is that thing? Yeah. Dave P's got jokes this morning, Yeah. But, look, the Native Americans knew about tobacco, man. They used it, and they didn't just use it, as smoking or chewing on it. They used it as an antiseptic. Okay. They also used it for stomach aches. I mean, you got to understand is when big pharma started happening in this country, these companies really started to suppress some of this stuff, you know? And look, there's a lot that the human race can learn about Sasquatch, okay? Here is a species less evolved than us, but more evolved than anything else, okay? Um, really super close to us. And I know in the wild that chimpanzees, okay, will use the mama plant when they have a bellyache, okay? Now, if a chimpanzee can do that, why couldn't a Sasquatch? Or maybe they have a toothache. Maybe there's a plant they know of that they can just crumple up and stick it in, and hold it in their mouth. We don't know these things, and these are things, you know, that we're only going to learn, you know, when we have a live specimen. And, I have a lot of feelings about that. I mean, I don't understand how we're going to do that. A species that intelligent, I mean, no gorilla that we have taken out of the wild has survived in captivity for more than 3 years. They've all died. Captive ones that were born in captivity that have grew up with humans, it's a different story now. We have them in zoos. You can go see them and stuff like that. And, you know, Coco, which is, I told you guys to research that gorilla. You ain't gonna believe it. You know what I'm saying? Stephen Missy, good morning. How are you this morning, Stephen Missy? Super happy that you're here. All right. Anyways, let's take a minute, guys, now that everybody's here. And yeah. Go ahead. Get the comments out the way about my hair, whatever. So let's go ahead and get that morning prayer rolling this morning. All right. Father God, I thank you. You may ask why. Lord, I am grateful and I thank you for the camaraderie that I get to have with our subscribers here at Outdoor University. Lord, I thank you for the love that you have shed on me this morning by giving me another chance to draw closer to you or not just ending my life. Lord, I thank you. You are great, you are powerful, and you are awesome. You are a loving God. And I thank every minute that you know my name. Lord, I ask that you allow these subscribers and anybody listening to be in your presence today. Lord, I also ask that you look after those who are stuck in addiction of any kind. Lord, those who are chasing the pavement, protect them. guide them, put some kind of person or a tool in their path to help them. Addiction comes in many forms. And I ask all of this in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen, guys. All right, laugh at my hair. I know, I know, I know. Right. So, uh, it used to be about fixing people's health. Now it's about making money. See, that's what I was telling you. That's what I'm telling you about big pharma, and stuff like that. And so it really got me thinking about, well, does this species? Somebody texted me. Um, does this species know about medical properties and benefits of certain plants, stuff like that? Why you didn't come on last week? Missed two shows. That is correct. Uh, for Bigfoot and beer, I was not feeling well. And for Bigfoot and coffee, I had to work. Sorry. I had a job. I had a little job that had to be done within a time frame, and I needed to get it done. I needed the money. We got to pay the cable bill here. I got to keep the lights on. I got to keep a roof over my head. It is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? I apologize, guys. You know, it ain't like it used to be. Outdoor University does not make the money that it used to make. Okay, where I was able to pay my bills. You know what I'm saying? And hunt and fish, for my food. It's just, it is what it is. Not as bad as mom's hair. Man, you're about to get it, Della, one of these days. You know that? You really are. You know, Dolly's gonna, get you. Anyways, Mama Dello, good morning. How are you today? I hope the Lord blesses you. I'm sorry that your son is Dillo, but no, I'm only teasing Dillo. You know I love you. Man? I'm only messing with you, man. You know, but I'm gonna try to get back at it, guys. I'm not gonna make any promises to you here because it seems like every time I do, something comes up. I'm gonna try to get out there. Uh, Floyd says, sorry for being broke. Me too, Floyd. I'm sorry for being broke, man. But hey, it is what it is, man. Let me tell you something. I may not have money, all right? And I may not be able to buy a lot of things, okay? I may not be able to buy, my kids the things that they need. I may not be able to, eat the food that I want to eat and stuff like that, okay? But let me tell you something. I'm rich in a lot of other ways, okay? All right? I'm a born again Christian, saved by Christ. That makes me rich. Right there. I have you guys. That makes me rich. Right there. Water test different sense. Charles, I sent you a picture of Dillo in the morning. All right. My phone's on the charger right now. It was almost dead, so I can't go get it. Someone says water tastes different since they took fluoride out in Dade County, Florida. It's more plain tasting, which is good. Water's not supposed to have a flavor, you know. One of these days, Dilla's mama's gonna switch. I'm telling you, from a frying pan to buckshot or salt or BB gun, one pump. Remember when you were kids? Used to have BB gun wars, one pump. I was that guy that always did like three pumps, so you know, and then I would lie about it and be like, "That was only one pump." Then I'd have to pick BBs out of my brother's leg and stuff. But anyways, yeah. So, what else do we got here? Easy there, Charles. Calm down. You know. So I didn't see no comments of what type of coffee everybody was drinking. Mm, You know. Mm. Dave P says, "LOL, Dave P. Water tastes different." Um, we always did 3 pumps. LOL. Yeah, but 3 pumps go. Listen, 3 pumps will go into your skin. 1 pump just stings like heck. But you can't get the distance with the. That's the problem. Dunkin' Donuts for Floyd. You can't get the distance with 1 pump. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always did the 3 pump. You know. Yeah. Because you always got that one guy, just stays away from everybody because they know that the 1 pump ain't ain't good enough, you know. So Dolly says Dillo is such a wonderful person to wake up to. Always makes the day interesting. He doesn't understand he's playing with fire. Yeah, yeah. Well, he will one of these days when he gets burned. You know. Hey, listen. We all played with fire when we were kids, right? Until some of us got burned. Some of us accidentally burned the woods down behind the trailer park. Just saying. I ain't pointing any fingers. I'm just saying. You know, just whole milk this morning for Les. There you go, Les. Milk's good. I like milk. You know. Tax says that's because the doctor dropped him on his head too many times, Dolly. You guys are making me laugh this morning. You truly are. You know, and I want you guys to do me a favor today. Um, please do something nice for someone today. I don't care if it's somebody you don't even know. Go out of your way to do something nice. Okay, that's all I got to say. Try it. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep that chain going. Remember, I used to say, be that strong link in the chain. You know, if everybody holds up their end, we have a powerful and strong chain. One person slacks, the chain breaks, and now it's no good. No good. You know, well, watch for flying objects. It says, watch for flying objects. Dolly said Dillo is an interesting person to wake up to. Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, I'd say he's an interesting person to wake up to. That's funny. That's cracking me up. You know what I'm saying? What else do we got? I'm just making sure I didn't miss any of your comments. When he comes out to the doctor, try to get him back. Says, "Oh, he wasn't done yet." Yeah, he wasn't done yet. Heard that though. Something nice. Thanks, everyone. Dillo loves you though. You know that, Mama Dillo. You know. So, what else? What else? What else? I'm just going over some comments before I get off here. Okay, I gotta go find a deer. I hope the coyotes didn't get it. I got a bad coyote problem this year. It's so bad the farmer actually put a bounty on him. 50 bucks a yoke. That's good. Shoot me make some money. Do some Bigfoot hunts with the money. You know. So, anyways, just checking, looking. Yep, I think I got everybody's comment. And if I missed your comment, guys, I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't try to. Okay, I honestly don't. But sometimes I'll get to run on my lips, and a comment will slip. You know, you guys know. I'm very attentive. To the comment section. Unlike other YouTubers out there. So I apologize if I missed your comment. You know what I'm saying? I think last Bigfoot and Coffee, somebody yelled at me. Not last one, because last one I didn't do, but the one before that, the last time we were on. So trying to get that taken care of, making sure that I don't make that mistake again. I don't like getting yelled at by you guys. You know, hopefully, Dave, he still isn't done yet. Dave P. Yeah. Joe still ain't done yet. He says, well, hell, I will come down and help you with the coyote problem. That's my game. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. He told me everyone I put in front of him is $50. And when I tell you I got a problem, I'm telling you there's a major pack. There's probably 40, 50 in this pack. Yeah, it's that bad right now. Just been neglecting it over the years, and I haven't been killing them like I normally do. And their numbers just got out of control. That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother thing, you know. Sarah, how are you this morning? What is up, Sarah? You know, uh, I'm glad you're having some coffee. I hope you're having some coffee. Dolly says, Floyd, tell Chris good morning. Yes, good morning, Chris, by the way. And Dolly said, Floyd, tell Chris good morning from her. Okay. So, anyways, guys, if you have a question that you want to go ahead and ask, this would be the time to do that. Because we are going to be getting off here. I have some stuff I got to do. I still got an evening hunt, uh, deer hunt to do, so I got to get ready for that. Just my house is, dude. If I showed you what my house looks like, you guys would be like, "What the hell?" You know, you wouldn't believe it. You know. Have you seen? Have you been getting my text? Yep, I get them. I got your text. I seen the trailer. I got the pictures, uh, Sarah, and I hope that I hope that works out for you guys. That would be awesome. You know, may the Lord freaking fly. May the Lord put His hand upon you and let it be. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I dropped 4 yesterday in my buddy's farm. Yeah, I got to get a call. You know, I used to have one years and years ago, and you know, I'm just hoping they didn't get my deer. I had to happen last year with an 8 point. I shot. Yep, I got it. You know, salty, salty. Nice 8 point, about 130 inch 8, which is that's pretty decent 8. You know. So Sarah says, me and my husband said, if you ever want to come out here and visit, you're more than welcome to. That's why I texted you the address. Cool, Sarah. Thank you very much for the invite. I really, really appreciate that. You know, I truly, truly do. You know, I've got 2 remote calls. Yeah, it's almost cheating. I know. I know. I was just going to use a Bluetooth speaker, do it. You know, and I got one of them big console Bluetooth speakers. I know. I like it. It is what it is. All right. So, anyways, guys, do me a favor. Take a kid fishing. By doing so, you get to spend time, mold and mentor that child's brain and personality. Okay? Listen, the days of wokeness are over. The days of social media raising our children has ended. America has spoken. Okay? MAGA, baby. Listen to me. By doing so, you're also locking your own future down. These are going to be the future of the country. Lawmakers, the president, doctors, lawyers, you know, the future generation, man. We don't want a bunch of weirdos running around here. You know what I'm saying? All right? Listen to me. Think of that. The country you live in, that you live in, the United States, was founded on freedom and off the back of veterans. So if you're a veteran, you personally have my thank you. And may the Lord greatly bless you. Listen, guys, put down the Xbox, pick up a tackle box. 216-632-9385. That is my personal cell phone number. Listen, man, depression is real. You understand that? It's real. Men, women, nobody's exempt. Nobody. That's my personal phone number, 216-632-9385. You're not feeling yourself, man, call me. Let's talk it out, man. You understand it? Let's talk it out. Let's laugh together. Let's cry together. You want to break some stuff together? We'll break some stuff together. You want to call and just yell at me and tell me how much you hate me? Sit there and listen. Whatever the case may be. What I says, yeah, when you come out here, Charles, you can have you some coffee, sit down, visit with us, look at our place. What you think about the picture? Yeah, they look pretty good. Looks like a little bit of work, but it doesn't look like, it would be too bad, sir. You know, I hope that, really does work out for you. But, anyways, guys, I'm Charles Milford, Outdoor University, and I wanted to say, I hope you have a blessed and wonderful day. And remember, you were created in the image of God. Act like it. And I will see all of you in the great outdoors, guys. Later!